The call of the ocean is strong indeed, for Skull and Bones promises multi-ship pirate battle encounters, all within the beautiful surroundings of the Indian Ocean. There's bounty to be seized, so here are 5 reasons we're so ready for pirate ship-to-ship multiplayer battles.
The Priscilla Shallows of Madagascar. Located on the cusp of a bustling trade route, it is the perfect place for an ambush.
While solo battles will be an option, Skull and Bones looks like it should really shine with a few extra crewmates on your deck. The Loot Hunt mode, for instance, will see 2 teams of 5 ships battling to haul in the most booty, and to win the day you'll need to work as a team, which means plenty of communication and occasionally hopping up to the crow's nest to see exactly where your gold purloining colleagues are positioned for battle.
Are we ready for a hunt?
Maybe some stick to open water while some creep up along the coast. When bigger, tougher pirate hunting ships sail in to break up the fight, one way to avoid capture will be to lure them away, sacrificing your ship in order to save a buddy who has a hold more laden with stolen treasures. Cheers matey, we'll tell your story, if we can remember it once we've spent your share of the gold on sweet, sweet grog. While teamwork makes the dream work, there's no honour among thieves, and Ubisoft has said that Skull and Bones will come with the option to betray your teammates if you feel the tide of battle turning. The ruthless plotting doesn't end there, however, because victory in this game seems like it'll require a strangely in-depth knowledge of naval strategy, particularly when it comes to the wind, which we're told was pretty important in the sailing era. In ye olden times, real sea battles often came down to which captain could manoeuvre into a position that gave them an advantage with the wind, letting you choose when and where to make your move.
Position fixed! Open fire!
We love the idea of battles being less about who has the biggest cannons and more about who keeps a closer eye on the wind gauge or adapts to changing weather.
All sails! Ride the wind!
Keeping an eye on your sails will help with the former. Luckily, they're quite hard to miss. Duking it out on the high seas can be done in a variety of different ships, which have their own advantages and disadvantages that players of RPGs should have no problem wrapping their heads around.
Drown, you soggy nutmeg!
The frigate, for instance, is heavily armoured and can take a fair few broadsides before making the trip down to Davy Jones's locker, so one option there is to play defence, soaking up cannon fire and protecting the more nimble members of your fleet. The Brigantine, meanwhile, has a battering ram for those who prefer their naval combat a little less subtle.
Set for top! Move!
And the Sloop War is all about long-range mortar fire and precise long-9 cannons. That's right, it's a pirate ship sniper, because of course it is.
Sail! Flying hostile colours!
While it seems like Skull and Bones will deliver on the action, it's refreshing to see a real-time multiplayer action game that doesn't look like it relies too heavily on super speedy Twitch responses.
Fuego!
Hold tight, lads!
So even if you're hopeless at headshots in Call of Duty, the slightly slower pace of the fighting in Skull and Bones could open things up to players who don't often dabble in online games, and we like the sound of that.
Taste of blackened silk!
It could leave more options open for different strategies, so that not every game you attempt ends up playing out the same way.
We've got pirate hunters!
Skull and Bones isn't exactly giving us MMO vibes, but we're super intrigued by what Ubisoft describes as a shared systemic world that changes and adapts. For instance, those pirate hunters are more likely to show up the more overall piracy is happening in the game, while you can also expect seasons of combat and a gradually evolving game world that changes depending on how people are playing in it. There's also the hint that there's more to Skull and Bones than simply smashing planks out of other ships, and that we might also get a glimpse of sea monsters, for example, which is less realistic, but we'll allow it because Krakens.
Time to make our escape, Captain, or we are good for the news!
So those are just some of the reasons we're so ready for pirate versus pirate multiplayer battles in Skull and Bones. But what do you think of the game? Let us know, subscribe if you enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the high seas.
What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning?